Welcome to Tobermory. So here we have the Tobermory sign. The sign itself embodies one of the infamous flower pot islands. They're super cool. I'm not going to check them out on this trip, but you can check them out if you do visit Tobermory in the future. They look similar to the sign and the replica that has been made here. But welcome to Tobermory. Here's how our journey's going to go. Hi Rock Campers, it's Cal here. I'm here in Tobermory, Ontario, the first stop on my road trip, and I'm at the northernmost terminus of the Bruce Trail. And if you don't know what the Bruce Trail is, well, it's an over 800-kilometer hike, which ends in St. Catharines, Ontario, close to Niagara Falls area, and we're here at the northern terminus of the Bruce Trail. So when you're hiking it, it takes you about, I think, a month to do. If I'm wrong, I will correct myself, that's okay. But it's a long hike, and so here is the end of the hike from one point of view, and then I'll show you where the end is later on in our road trip series. But here I am. If you look over here, we've got tons of boats. It's a very pretty view, and there's lots going on. We've got a nice fish and chips place over here, some trading posts, and a lot of vibes. So this is the first stop on our journey. Right, so we're at the Tobermory Museum, which is an old settler kind of setup village thing. So here we have a cabin that has been, it looks like new glass has been put in, and it's been kind of souped up, but it's a general vibe of what a cabin would look like in the 1800s. So if we go this way, there are many cool things that we can see. So, here we have part of a shipwreck that sank in the harbor. There are tons of shipwrecks in the Tobermory area, and lots of diving teams like to go and visit them all of the time. It's pretty rad. Over here we have an old schoolhouse, which is now the museum, and there's a bell that's attached to the outside that is pretty cool, erected in 2017. And although the bell itself is from the 1800s. Tobermory is cool because it's got tons of shipwrecks, and so the museum itself is home to lots of different moving parts that have sank prior in the area. You should probably pause it. So here's our school bell. The outside itself was put in 2017, although the school bell is from the operating times of the St. Edmunds Secondary School in 1898 to 1965. So this bell has been around for quite some time. Over here we have the schoolhouse itself, which is St. Edmunds Secondary School, which used to host the bell. Now the interior is completely museum. It's not open right now, so we don't get to check out what it looks like inside, but it's pretty cool, pretty rad, if you want to check it out in the near future. Here we have an old well, so it looks like it's been covered up mostly, but here we have what would be the way to get water out if it was operational. So you would just pump it like so, and then the water would come out the tap. And a lot of old well systems would work similar to that from about the 1800 era. Welcome to the Big Tub Lighthouse here in Tobermory, Ontario. It was first lit in 1885 and stands to this day. In the water area, if you look down, it's all rocky, and the rocks have been deposited by glaciers. And so the glaciers took hundreds of years to come in. And so here in Tobermory, Ontario, the water is super cold. And so if you get your whole body in, all for it, or all to you, but it's pretty freezing. Welcome to our camp kitchen. Here we have dinner. I'm making potatoes with onion and beef and mushroom, and Ruby is doing the same, but on skewers, kind of fancy, with some tzatziki and tomato. She did hers over the fire. I've got the trusty camp stove going, and we've got our nice little setup. Here's some tents. We've got our tarp shelter because it was raining earlier, and here's Ruby's tent over here, then my tent's over here, there's the car over there. But yeah, this is Chutes Provincial Park in Northern Ontario, and this is our campsite. Okay, so I'm reading this book, Wilderness Pleasures, and one of the cool things I learned is that you need a first aid kit for your dog if you're taking your dog any outdoors trip. So some things that stand out to me is hydrogen peroxide, a good way to induce vomiting, 1 to 3 tablespoons every 10 minutes until the dog vomits, or teaspoons, sorry. And then Benadryl, Pepto-Bismol, aspirin. Like, it's interesting that dogs have pretty much the same first aid kit as people, making sure that they stay safe out there. Another cool thing about this book is it gives you a whole bunch of different recipes of what you can make. There's some pasta, some chicken. It teaches you about the stars and the northern lights. And it's got tips on photography. It's pretty sick. Yeah. Welcome to the end of our road trip series. We're here in Niagara, Ontario, at the very end of the Bruce Trail. The monument is over there. There's a family having a picnic in front of it, so we didn't want to film. But I'm here in front of the Secord monument, which is also an access point to the Bruce Trail. And so a cool fact about Secord is she was one of the people that helped Canada become independent. And so she was pretty rad. If you want to do more research on Secord, I suggest it. It's very cool. She's also known for her chocolate today. There's a chocolate company that has been named after her, but there's also the Secord Trail, and you can hike where she would have hiked back in the War of 1812, and that's pretty rad. And so this monument serves as a remembrance for Secord. She's obviously since passed away. It's been a long time since the War of 1812. Yeah, so we're in Niagara. There's a pretty awesome view here. If our cameraman wants to walk up to the side over here, we can see all of the cool things, our views that we have here. It's some pretty breathtaking views across all of our road trip that we've had thus far.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we're here still in Queenston Heights, Niagara, Ontario, and we're at the place of battle of Sir Isaac Brock. And so Sir Isaac Brock died in battle here on the battlefield, and here behind me is the statue to commemorate the battle and trials and trepidations of Sir Isaac Brock. And so there's this really cool monument that has been erected to commemorate Sir Isaac Brock and the soldiers that died on the battlefield here for Canada in the War of 1812.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
All right, so right behind me is the Niagara River, which is beautiful, and if you can ever see it in real life, I urge you to do so, because this view is just breathtaking. And so, like Brendan's reaction here, the Niagara River, just really like an amazing spot to be. So we'll let you check out that landscape here. Just so beautiful. You can see people down below boating in the rivers. And some action down there. Amazing spot. Alright, so right in front of the Brock Monument we found this really nice mulberry tree. And so mulberries are, they kind of look like a blackberry, except they're slightly different. I'll find one. So this guy here, if it's dark colored like that, you can eat it. Please don't go around eating berries that are random though. This is just a cool tree that we found at the monument. Disclaimer, I don't eat anything unless it is from a store. But yeah, so this is a mulberry and this is a mulberry tree for anybody who is looking into some cool trees, flora and fauna. All right, so welcome to Brock University. We just visited the Brock Monument in Queenston Heights, Niagara, Ontario. And so here behind me in Thorold, Ontario is Brock University, as well as all around us. It's actually where I go to university. It's a pretty sick place. So behind the bus back there is a statue of Sir Isaac Brock. It's slightly smaller than the large monument that we went and visited just quite frequently earlier. And yeah, so behind us we've got some flags, some nice pride flags. Purple one is the Wampum Belt Agreement for Indigenous communities here around the area at Brock. And we've also got some nice buildings. And so we've got Schmann Tower, which is the Brock Library, as well as Goodman School of Business. And some other buildings on this side. We've got our Flat Hill Sciences building, some Department of Residence buildings, and some nice scenery around the area. Brock University also sits on the Bruce Trail, which we've been following all the way along through our journey here on the Roadtrip series. And so I thought it'd be nice just to end off the series here at Brock University, which I like to call my partial home when I'm away at school. So yeah, check out the scenery around Brock University, and this is our end location for the Road Trip series. It's been a really rad time having you all here, and I thank you for joining me.